What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Countdown Scouting Network. Today is a special one. We are officially breaking into the 2020. Oh, actually, no, we are not. I apologize. I got ahead of myself by about 2 weeks. So we're just going to talk about the Offensive Rookie of the Year candidates, some of my favorite guys from this last 2022 draft class. I got a little excited. I was doing some research earlier today on some 2023 NFL draft guys. So today we are doing 2022 Offensive Rookie of the Year candidates. Next week we'll do Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates. And then after that, I think we're going to do a little positional preview of 2023 draft eligible guys. So get excited. It's draft day every day on this channel. So always going to be talking about draft coverage. That's the main staple. We'll get into some NFL news, some college news as well. But for the most part, it's just prospects, baby. That's what we're here for. So I guess we'll start off with a little NFL news before we get into this. Again, it's probably going to be a 25-minute episode. I want to keep these off-season episodes a little shorter. I know not everyone has interest in kind of the off-season or draft coverage news. Maybe 3 months, 2 months away from the draft, that's when people start picking that up again. But right now, a lot of people aren't into it, and that's all right. I appreciate you guys for stopping in here and just saying hi if that's all you're doing. So getting into some of this NFL news. So James Bradberry was released by the Giants. He's a cornerback. He was a Pro Bowler. Very good veteran corner. I think he's about 27 years old. Released by the Giants and didn't know where he was going to go. Didn't know how much he was going to sign for, but they cut him and actually cost themselves about $12 million this year. And he ended up signing with a division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, who are having a phenomenal offseason. I applaud them. I think, we talked about it. They were my number 2 best draft class. They've had a good offseason with that number 2 best draft class, a couple of solid trades. I think they're going to win that division. And I think, other than the Green Bay Packers, the LA Rams, and even the Buccaneers, I think other than those 3, the NFC is wide open. So I like what they're doing. They're getting aggressive in a weak conference, and it's kind of a weak division too. I'm not the highest on the Commanders or even the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are good, but I'm not the highest on them. So I love the swinging for the fences on this stuff. And again, it was a 1-year, $10 million deal. So it wasn't even that much. I think it was $7 million guaranteed. So that's really nothing for a cornerback of his caliber. So bravo to the Philadelphia Eagles. It is also, this week is week 1 of OTAs. So you're going to hear a lot of NFL news. If you're looking to see what your team's doing, that's probably not me that you should be hearing from, but instead go on Twitter and look up your favorite beat reporters of the team. So guys like Barry Jackson or I can't even really think of any other regional names. But yeah, go on Twitter and just look up your team, find some of your team's beat reporters, and they'll be giving you a breakdown of basically every play that they can see from the NFL OTAs. There are a couple things from OTAs that I saw so far. One of them being Treylon Burks looked good, but he's had some asthma problems that kept him out of some of the segments of the practices. So we'll see how long that occurs. I don't know if he's just out of shape, or if he's just having bad asthma right now. We'll see. Time will tell on that. Another thing is Miami Dolphins Twitter account posted Tua throwing a ball to Tyreek Hill. And of course, with how polarizing Tua is, he, garnered a lot of attention and people broke down the throw. The throw hung in the air for a while. It was in slow motion. It was a little bit wobbly, and it looked like it probably was only about a 25, 30-yard throw if you really looked at it. And it was also behind Tyreek Hill. He almost had to do a full 180 to catch it, and then he kind of slowed down and jogged at that point. So yeah, a lot of people broke that down. I don't really find it concerning. I don't think Tua is an elite quarterback, but again, that one throw, come on. I think they shouldn't have posted it. I think they should have understood. And it's funny because a little bit after that, you saw Miami Dolphins were actually looking to hire a new videographer and social media account manager. So I don't know if those two have anything in common. Maybe they're just trying to up their brand a little bit, but I think it's a little funny that it came out right after that. So I hope no one got fired from it. And again, I think a lot of people are just overreacting to that throw. I don't know. We're going to have to wait to see. I don't think Tua is a franchise quarterback, but I think he will do okay in this system. And I think Tyreek plus Jalen Waddle, plus some of the other weapons that they have are going to kind of minimize his, it's going to kind of hide some of his stuff. So, okay, I don't have any other news, so we can go ahead and get right into this. Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate stuff. Excuse me, baby. Please stop. All right, so getting into it. First things first is when you break down Offensive Rookie of the Year, a lot of it comes by pick value, team name value, and of course, flashy players as well. So you're not going to see an offensive lineman get put on here. I think Rashad Slater had a really good shot of getting it. Creed Humphrey last year. And Rashawn Slater and Creed Humphrey did not get chances because, again, they're offensive linemen. So you got to take that into effect. So, again, there's not going to be a Evan Neal, Kenyon Green, Linderbaum, Zion Johnson, Charles Cross, Ike Ekwonu. None of those guys are going to be on this list. If you want to know why, that is why. Second of all, it really is a quarterback stat or a quarterback-driven award. There's a couple times, including last year, that if the quarterbacks weren't doing very well and you have an extremely talented guy like Jamar Chase last year, really blow it up, then of course you'll get another position. I think this year is going to be the same way. So I'm going to break down some of the positions, and then after that I'm going to give a 1 through 5. And I'm kind of just doing this off the top of my head. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation up, so that's on me again, but that's all right. So going into this, we're going to start off with wide receivers because I think wide receiver has the best chance of winning this award. Going into the first one is Drake London. I think Drake London, who was the wide receiver from USC, got drafted by Atlanta at pick 8. I think he has a really good shot. If he can stay healthy, that's his big thing, is he needs to stay healthy. He's got a good catch radius. He jumps out the gym. He's a big, strong guy, and he creates yards after the catch as well. Kind of limited route tree. He's not the fastest guy. His hands are good, but I don't know. He could struggle with some concentration drop. So we'll see. But the good news is they don't have very many offensive weapons right now. It's Bryan Edwards, Kyle Pitts, Cordero Patterson, and Frank Darby are like the guys he's competing with. So Kyle Pitts is going to get his targets. Cordero Patterson is going to get some targets. But other than that, he should get between 7 and 10 targets a game easily, as long as he's healthy. And again, red zone threat, it's him and Kyle Pitts. They're the two biggest guys. So I think he has a really good chance as long as he stays healthy. Going into my next guy, Garrett Wilson was the next receiver that was picked. He was picked at pick number 10, but I'm not a big Zach Wilson fan. I think it's going to be a lot on Zach Wilson on top of they've got a bunch of guys that play out the slot, and Garrett Wilson doesn't have to be a slot guy, but I think he will do the best in the slot. But you have Corey Davis, you have Elijah Moore, you have Braxton Berrios. They don't have Jamison Crowder anymore, so that's good. But again, those are all guys that they play their best ball in the slot. So someone's going to have to move, and I think I feel like Garrett Wilson might end up moving a little bit around for that. And so I think that's going to hurt him some. Again, he's a phenomenal athlete. He does great things after the catch, and he makes fantastic catches as well as being a a guy that runs, sub 4.4. So he does have a chance, but he's not my number 2 wide receiver. My number 2 wide receiver is actually Chris Olave. Again, I like Jameis Winston, and Jameis Winston loves the deep ball. So Chris Olave was a wide receiver from Ohio State, Garrett Wilson's counterpart at Ohio State. He was picked in the first round, middle of the first round. I don't remember what pick it was. I think it was maybe 12 or 14, something like that. I think it was 14. So he was picked in the first half of the first round. He's a great deep ball guy. Jameis Winston is a great deep ball thrower, as well as you have Jarvis Landry that will take stuff underneath. You have Michael Thomas, who will hopefully be back. So you're talking about he's going to be going up against the number 2, number 3 cornerback. And again, he's got great hands. He runs great routes. That's kind of an underrated part of his game is he runs phenomenal routes. So I really like Chris Olave for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I think I might bet some money on it. I'm a big fan of Chris Olave with that deep ball running, and Jameis Winston loves throwing the deep ball. So it just makes perfect sense. Going into my number 3 guy for wide receivers would be, trying to decide between 2 guys right now. So I'm going to go with Christian Watson as my number 3. Garrett Wilson's my number 4 for wide receiver. So, Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State. He went to Green Bay in the second round. I don't remember exactly the pick, but he's a big body receiver. I think he's 6'4". He's between 6'3", 6'5", 215 to 225 pounds. He runs a 4.42. He's a great jump ball guy. He's got good hands. He's strong after the catch. He can create after the catch. His route running's a little limited. And by great hands, I mean like he can jump up and get the ball, but he does have a catching problem, just a little bit. He's been dropping some, fairly regular balls. So that's what concerns me. What really helps him is he has an elite quarterback, and not very many weapons around him. You think about the top couple weapons that were at Green Bay last year. Devontae Adams, he's gone. Okay, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he's gone. Those are really the only 2 that they used, other than tight ends and running backs out the backfield. But again, the top couple wide receivers are gone, so he is going to be one of the primary targets. Of course, they have Amari Rodgers, who they didn't use much last year. They have Romeo Doubs from Nevada, who they drafted later in the I think the 5th round. They ended up drafting him in this last draft. So he's got some guys to compete with, but really no one special. But again, he is a raw prospect, so I don't put him very high. The next guy would be Jahan Dotson, wide receiver from Penn State. He got drafted in the first round. I think it was 116. He got drafted at the 16th pick in the first round to the Washington Commanders. Again, he's kind of a deep ball guy as well. He makes good plays. I do like his receiving skills, but again, he runs 9 routes. He runs post patterns. He runs corners. He doesn't really run anything else underneath, so it's a limited route tree, to say the least. But he's a dynamic athlete, and if they ask him to do some more, I think he could. Again, he's a smaller guy. I think he's a $190. He's like 5'10", $190. But he is fast and he's got good hands, so that could help him out there. Again, it's the quarterback situation, and you got Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel that he's kind of battling out with, on top of J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson will also be getting some. Not to mention Cole Turner, the tight end from Nevada, who got drafted there late, I think 4th round in this past draft, and Logan Thomas as well. So again, he's going to have a lot of guys to have to work out to be that number 1 guy. I don't see it. I think he'll have a fine rookie season, and I think he can develop into something, but Rookie of the Year candidate, I don't see it. The next couple guys, Sky Moore, George Pickens. I don't see any of those guys. Again, it's too many mouths to feed at those places, as well as I think they're a little raw. So I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I think I would put it to Drake London, Chris Olave, and you know Christian Watson or Garrett Wilson. I think those are my top four at wide receiver. Going on to running backs now. Of course, the New York Jets drafted Breece Hall at number 36 overall. Running back out of Iowa State. He's a dynamic athlete. He's a home run guy. He can break some tackles. He's got good vision. I always saw him as kind of like a David Johnson type. And I really like him. I loved Michael Carter as well. And I think Michael Carter will end up taking away from him. On top of this offense, I don't really see this offense being that dynamic at the moment. So, I mean, you could see him getting some carries, some passing down reps. But again, Michael Thomas was a really good passing down running back last year in the NFL, on top of in college at North Carolina. So, I could see Breece Hall getting it just because of his name, and maybe he gets, if he can get 7 touchdowns and 500 yards, and these receivers don't really add up to anything, I could see him getting it just off his name alone. But I don't know. I can't really see a running back getting it this year. But he's my number. He's 1A. My 1B would be Ken Walker from Michigan State. I really like him, and I think he found the perfect system at the Seattle Seahawks. He can pass catch a little bit, and he will be battling it out with Rashad Penny. But this team runs the ball so much, and Penny's been banged up with injuries. I could see Kenneth Walker, whatever he is going by right now. I could see him getting, 12 to 15 touches a game. And I think he's a really efficient runner. So if he's getting 12 to 15 touches a game, you're talking about, what would that end up being? Trying to do math in my head. Over 200 touches in a season. And if he's efficient with those touches, that's the only guy I could see being a rookie of the year out of running back. So I actually move him up to number 1, Breece Hall to my number 2, and then Breece Hall to my number 2A, and then my 2B would be James Cook, the running back out of Georgia, drafted to the Buffalo Bills. Again, he's going to be a guy who he's a change of pace running back. He's not going to be in between the tackles very much. You're going to put him on jet sweeps. You might even line him up in the slot and have him run some routes. He's a decent route runner. He's got good hands. He's super fast. He's got good burst, and he's about 195 to 200 pounds, but he can break some tackles too. So again, he's not as big as his brother. He doesn't break the tackles like his brother, but he's got a little bit of that. His brother is Dalvin Cook, by the way. So I do really like him. I think him and Breece Hall will probably have the same amount of touches and probably the same amount of yards. It's going to be the breakaway plays, who breaks away more and who gets the most touchdowns out of those two. Figure that out. Dameon Pierce, the running back out of Florida, went to Houston. I don't really give him a chance, especially with the team that he's on. They're going to be passing the ball a lot, and I think Marlon Mack's going to take most of the passing work. Rashad White, he's the running back from Arizona State, went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, Lenny Fournette is still there, as well as he's battling with Keyshawn Vaughn, who I don't think Keyshawn Vaughn's the greatest, but again, there's a couple heads that have seniority over him. Zamir White from Las Vegas. He might have a chance. Zamir White was James Cook's running mate at Georgia. He went to Las Vegas. Josh Jacobs is always banged up. He's actually coming off an injury right now. Kenyon Drake broke his ankle. So he might be battling back from that, as well as, Kenyon Drake is 28 years old. So Zamir White's a bruiser. I could see him taking over that role next year from Josh Jacobs, but I don't really see him doing anything this year. That's probably a next year thing. And there's really no other running backs other than that. So really my offensive rookie of the year candidate from running backs is Ken Walker with the Seattle Seahawks. Again, he fits that scheme so well. I think he gets over 200 touches this year, especially since Rashad Penny he's injury prone. He's never stayed healthy. And I think this system fits Kenny Walker perfectly. So I could see him having a phenomenal year this year. Going into quarterbacks, again, I said this award really does favor quarterbacks, I think, as most awards do in the NFL. But there's really no quarterback this year, as you know, it was a bad quarterback draft. So really no quarterback that I think could take the mantle. But if there is one, Kenny Pickett is battling it out. Kenny Pickett's the Pittsburgh quarterback who got drafted in the first round, the only first-round quarterback. Got drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is battling Mitchell Trubisky for the starting job. I think Mitch takes it, and if Mitch can run with it, Mitch runs with it. But I think Kenny Pickett probably takes over around week 9, week 10, something like that, when they're trying to make that playoff push. So I don't think he can get it just because of that. The next guy I have would be Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder was the quarterback from Cincinnati, got drafted in the 3rd round to the Atlanta Falcons. Again, I don't see it happening with him. He's battling Marcus Mariota for the starting job. I think Mariota gets it for the first couple weeks. I could see Ridder taking over in week 5, week 6. I could see him being the first one to take over. But again, I don't think Ridder is ready. And they gave him, I mean, Marcus Mariota has no help right now in Atlanta. They set him up to fail. And if Desmond Ridder goes in, it'll be the same thing for him. So I don't value any quarterback in that system right now, especially not for Rookie of the Year. Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty, got drafted in the 4th round, I believe, of the 4th round of Tennessee. So again, he's raw. He's a project quarterback. I don't see him playing at all this year, other than coming in kind of like Trey Lance did for San Francisco this year, where he comes in for some rushing, gadget plays just to get him a feel for what the NFL game is like. Next person, Sam Howell and Matt Corral. I'll kind of put them both in the same situation. Sam Howell, Sam Howell is playing against Carson Wentz right now. He's a 5th round pick from North Carolina, and he's with the Washington Commanders. Again, it's a late round pick. I don't think he'll play this year. I think Carson Wentz will be good enough to hold him off. I wasn't a big Sam Howell person anyways, so I don't see it. Matt Corral, I do like Matt Corral, and he actually might play a little bit. Again, he went to Carolina. He's the quarterback out of Ole Miss. He's just not, I don't think that system set him up for the NFL. Again, that offensive system was very simple. And I think they're going to want him to play because I think Sam Darnold's going to be not the greatest. But I don't think he's going to succeed when he gets in. When he gets in, I think it's going to be a dumpster fire. I think Matt Rule is going to be fired halfway through the season, if that. And again, it's going to be a dumpster fire in Carolina. I really like how they got my favorite tackle at pick number 8 instead of going quarterback. But not this year, man. This year is going to be a dumpster fire for sure. And so that's it. Again, I already talked about offensive line's not going to get it. Tight ends are not going to get it. Jelani Woods would be my number 1 guy. Trey McBride, number 2 guy with that. But there's tight ends just not going to get it. So now we'll break down my top 5, and then we'll let you guys go. So my top 5, I think number 1 is Drake London, wide receiver out of USC, got drafted at number 8 overall to the Atlanta Falcons. I think he's going to get 200 targets, 180 targets, somewhere around that range. Not 200. I think he'll probably get, between 100 and 120 targets, and again, there's really no one there for him to go up against. So I really like that. I think 120 targets if he stays healthy, all 17 games. Next, at my number 2 would be Ken Walker, running back from the Seattle Seahawks. I think he's going to get 200 touches. I do. I think he'll get 12 to 15 touches a game. So I don't trust Rashad Penny, and I think this offense is really going to want to run the ball. So Kenny Walker got into the perfect system. Everyone knows his name, and again, he was a fairly high draft pick. He was a second round pick. So I could definitely see him being rookie of the year. And I think he's very close to Drake London. My number 3 guy would be Chris Olave. I think he's going to do some special things with Jameis Winston this year, and I'm really excited to see it. That deep ball is going to be phenomenal, especially with Jarvis and Michael Thomas doing underneath stuff. I think he's going to catch, 6 balls a game. He might put up numbers like Jamar Chase a couple weeks, but for the most part, he's just going to be a solid contributor. I could see him, 6 catches for 55 yards every single week. My number 3 guy. Yeah, my 1, 2. No, he was my 3. My 4th out of 5 is going to be Garrett Wilson. I decided I want to put Garrett Wilson up there just because I think he can do more than Christian Watson. And then number 5 will be Christian Watson. So again, my top 5 guys would be number 1, Drake London, the wide receiver from Atlanta. Number 2, Ken Walker, the running back from Seattle Seahawks. Number 3, Chris Olave, the wide receiver from the New Orleans Saints. Number 4, Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from the New York Jets. And number 5, Christian Watson, the wide receiver from the Green Bay Packers. So that's my top 5 in Offensive Rookie of the Year. Next week, sometime between Sunday and Wednesday, we'll go ahead and do Defensive Rookie of the Year. So I'm excited for it. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you have a wonderful day.